Hi, welcome to the bar down tutorial on how to put together your bar down shooter tutor. We're in the warehouse and your box will come looking similar to this, although hopefully not wet in the middle like this one is. I'll open up the box and lay out all the pieces so that you know exactly what you have and what you need to put this shooter tutor together. With the box open, you'll have your bag of netting and instructions on assembly, your two side rails, which are the bent pieces, and then the bottom rail, ice rail, which is in the bubble wrap. Inside this box, cut the tape, and you'll find the head assembly and the nuts and bolts. So here I've laid out the bottom ice rail, the left side of the goal frame, the head assembly, the right side of the goal frame, the instructions, the wire ties that you use to hold your netting on, and the net itself. This is how the assembly goes together. Recognize that the back side has the lacing holes. You will need a pair of scissors, a 7/16 inch socket and ratchet, 7/16 inch wrench, and a lighter. Those are the 4 pieces of tools that you need to assemble this. We'll go to the ice rail first. And the ice rail simply slides in on top. Like this. Drop a bolt through. Once the bolt's through, you'll put on flat washer, lock washer, and then nut. Do this 2 bolts on the right, 2 bolts on the left, and then we'll talk about the head assembly. The head assembly, 2 holes on the right, 2 holes on the left, and the aligning holes on each side of the side rails. The head assembly goes directly behind, with the bolts coming from the back and into the slotted area to hide the head of the bolt. I'll show you a picture when I get them in. Okay, I have the head assembly 4 bolts on. I'm going to lift up the head assembly, and you can see the bolt heads with the bolts going to the inside of the U-channel so there's no protrusions. All this is loose, so what I'm going to do now, holding the entire shooter tutor assembly on a flat position, I'm going to start tightening my bolts, making sure everything's square. We have the 4 corner points, each side of the head, each side of the ice rail. Once I get these bolts tight, we'll be ready to start stringing the net. Okay, so now I have my frame with on its face, so face would face away from the net. You see I have it bolted together. The bolts are now tight. And these are all the lacing holes surrounding the frame. So the next step, I'm going to position my net onto the frame and begin to wire tie it on so that it's in position for lacing. Okay, so you can see that I've wire tied the shoulder and head part of the shooter tutor, and you can also see I'm pulling up a full square above the wire ties. Why we do this is so that we don't lace on this last edge, but you lace on this edge. And you want the net nice and tight. I'll finish the wire ties and we'll take a look. Okay, so I have my net in place, held in place by the wire ties that were included in the plastic bag. One thing to look at is this is the center hole. It's 19 in from either side, 19 holes in. That matches up directly with the center of the head assembly, that mesh line. So that's always important to remember, to make sure your net is centered. So center the net at the bottom, center the net at the top. Now we're going to start lacing, and it laces just like a regular net. What I like to do with these edges as I'm lacing is actually tuck them inside and wrap the cord around that double edge. So I bunch this, put inside, and then I wrap through every square hole in that cord. What that does is it gives the cord two mesh thicknesses to hold on to as you're looping it through the holes. I also like to do half hitches almost every hole, because if your cord does break, which they do, as do gold frame nets, these cords wear and break also, but you'll have at least a lock on that so you won't unravel completely, and you can easily fix it with extra lacing cord or even hockey skate laces. So I'll do some lacing and come back to you. Okay, a couple of helpful hints. You might use a pair of side cutters to cut your wire ties off as you begin lacing. And then also, you have your lighter to burn the ends of your rope so they don't fray. Okay? I usually start out like this piece. I went from the head down to the corner. That was about a 12-foot piece. You usually go about 2 to 2.5 times the length of lacing twine than the length that you're actually going. So I start on this side, and then I'll start at the middle of the head and go down the other side. Okay, you can see we have the net laced up. Nice half hitches all the way around. Occasionally, you'll have to go through a hole twice because the holes are 2 inches apart and these are 1.75 inch spacing. So every once in a while, it's okay just to double up on a hole. And we'll take a look from this side. So we have a nice looking net. Everything's laced up good. It's relatively tight like this. You want a little give there so it a nice soft rebound. But we're ready to hang it on the net. All right, boys. Have a good time, a good hockey day.